Hey everyone, good afternoon. Oh my goodness, I've got such a treat for you this afternoon because I am having a conversation of which of course you were invited to have a conversation with Fresh Nesh. I cannot wait to introduce her to you. If you've not met her, you'll know, well, you'll see for yourself exactly how brilliant she is. And I'm just going to try and invite her as we speak now, because I've not done a lot. Here we go. I'd totally forgotten what I was doing because I haven't done a live for such a long time. There she is. Let's see if we can get her on board. So Fresh Nesh. Nesh is a model. She's a mum of two. She is all about stuff that I love, all about well-being, health, vitality, positivity, and she's just fabulous. So do make sure that you're following her, and hopefully she will join me any minute now. There she is. Hey Nesh, come and join. Come and join. I've invited you. Oh, it's always this nervous moment, isn't there? Can you see? Is she there? Accept. Yes. Come and join us. I'm feeling sick now. Where are you? Accept. I'm accepting. She's not there. You're unable to join us, Nesh. Okay, so let me try again. Invite. Oh, this hasn't happened before. Come on, Nesh. We might have to go off and come back on again.
Am I in? Oh my goodness! It's been... I kept thinking, I've requested, I don't understand.
I know. Oh my God. Okay,
I'm here. Oh, thanks for having me.
Sorry. Oh no, my gosh, you're welcome. It's so good. We've been wanting to chat, haven't we, live for such a long time.
Yes.
And we finally nailed it. So how are you?
I'm good, thank you. All right. Just
You're gone.
Busy week, and it's like I chasing the days, going, what day is it today?
I'm so glad. I'm like, date? Really? Is it the last week of April?
Oh no.
How the hell did that happen? Can I just say you're looking amazing?
Oh, thank
absolutely
you.
You always do. I was having a little wobble, obviously, when we couldn't get you on live, and I was saying to everyone, you are just the girl right up my street, because you're all about positivity and vitality, and like you, I've got two kids, and I'm sure everyone just wants to know, how do you do it? How do you do it?
Do you know what? I feel like I'm always like paddling like mad, and I always look out for inspiration to others, because I always think, how do they do it all? Because in my head, I feel like it's all chaos. Yeah, right. So maybe it's that whole swan theory that
I use
on
that
the outside it looks all elegant, but like, yeah, underneath I'm paddling like mad, like all of us trying to stay afloat. So yeah, I suppose I really try to live day to day, or even hour by hour.
Yeah.
That's something I've really focused on in the last few years, especially, to just, if we're talking about something in a few weeks time, I used to be like, oh, I've got to do that, and so I'll start planning ahead, so far ahead that I feel overwhelmed. So I kind of like section off everything, decompartmentalize, if that's the way of saying it. That word gets me.
You put it in a little box.
Yeah. And I think, right, I'll deal with that when I get to it.
Yeah.
And so I literally live like that, and I think that's how I get through, because when you're trying to balance that many plates or juggle that many balls, that's how I have to do it, because otherwise they'll all collapse and fall, and it'll be a complete mess.
Absolutely. And like all of us, we're all kind of, the balls are up in the air, we're juggling. But and one analogy I use all the time is, it's okay to drop a ball, or even just let them all fall down. It's okay. And I think, I don't know how you feel, but I think life post COVID, because I keep kind of going, oh God, life post, but it's happening. And I don't know about you, but we've kind of changed our outlook on events and organising. Whereas before, like, I was exactly like you, planning it to the nth degree. And it's kind of like, well, is it going to happen? Does it really matter if all the balls fall on the floor? Does it really matter if it's not perfect? And besides, it could all get cancelled anyway, which isn't a great way to look at things. But hopefully we've all learned to take a little bit of the pressure off.
Nothing's guaranteed in life. That's the lesson I've learned. I've learned, like, you know, you can't ever assume. I know it sounds quite pessimistic, but I never assume next week is happening. Like, not in a really dark way, but I think that's how I've learned to just go, right, I'm just trying to live in the present moment. And like you say, if it doesn't all work out, it doesn't all work out. But as long as I get to tomorrow, I'm happy. And I think especially through lockdown that I really felt like I had to teach that to the children and say, because they were crushed on so many moments of going to school, not going to school, going on the trip, not going on, you know, and it was so hard for them to process. For us, you know, it was hard for us to process, but to expect the kids to process it was
100.
Ridiculous. So I think it's been a real learning curve for all of us. But I think, you know, past experiences in my life, like previous to COVID as well, I think I was learning that anyway. And even though COVID was hard to deal with, I think I'd worked hard at building coping mechanisms before that made me manage it. Look, my situation was different to a lot of others as well, so I feel very conscious of when I say I dealt with it okay. It wasn't the easiest thing, but I feel like the way I've been kind of living my life made me cope with it better.
You dealt with it in the best way that you could with the tools that you had at the time. And I think that's fair to say for all of us, you know, because it was just everything just stopped. And especially in your line of work as well. Can I just say, you know, when you see someone, you're like, I know you, where have I seen you before? Where have I seen you? It was only literally about 2 days ago, I was like, you're the Kellogg's girl. You're the special. And I'm like, oh, thank God for that. Because all this time that we've been chatting, I'm like, I'm sure I've met her before. I'm sure we know her from somewhere. Special, hey, tell us about that.
Oh gosh, do you know what? That was such an amazing.
Is that okay to bring it up? I didn't ask. Oh, that's kind of off the. I always go off piece. I'm sorry, but
no, that's okay. Oh, do you know what? That was such a great moment for me in my career as a job goes. It was really amazing, and a real confidence boost as well. To get kind of like that high profile job at that time, it was a massive thing to be the Special K girl. And for somebody
I'm so glad I now know that it's you. I'm like, I've been putting my hair out.
I can remember being in like the coffee, like Starbucks, and the person serving me was like, oh, you look really familiar. And at the time the commercial was on air, and they were like, you really look like that girl in the commercial. And I was like, oh, just pretending it's not. And then my mum comes on going, yes, it's her.
So what year was that?
So I filmed that, I think 2006, 2000. Yeah, it was the year 2006, 2007. I did a couple of commercials for them. I think I did about 4 jobs in total for them around that period. And then they re-aired the show, the commercial a few years later. And at that time or a year later, and I was then pregnant with my son, and so I wasn't working. So amazing to kind of have that come out back on air. So yeah, it was around that time, and pre-kids. So yeah, it was just a really great adventure and a great thing to be part of.
So honestly, I can't tell you how relieved I am. I know that's ridiculous. I'm just like, God, I can now say that's where I know you from.
Yeah.
And you look I know we're not allowed to talk about looks on it. You look fabulous. Oh my God.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was really, yeah, I really loved being part of that. And at the time, that was, yeah, that was the way things were. And, you know, that
It's
was
crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? Because you've done a show with Helen Skelton, haven't you, talking about
yes,
the
yeah,
whole Kellogg's and the whole advertising, and when you say it's 2006, even now I'm thinking,
yeah,
that late?
yeah.
You know, really? Because, like you say, that wouldn't be allowed to happen now.
No, I didn't really kind of talk about it much, to be honest, after like a few years later, because I actually felt a bit uncomfortable about the whole dropping a dress size to be able to wear the swimsuit, because really that's not what I'm about, or like what I like to kind of show up as on here, definitely. And it's something I've worked on all my life, of just being accepting me for the size and the way I, you know, accepting myself completely. And I think really, I mean, I was doing the job at the time and that was how it was, but really at the same time you're thinking, well, I can actually wear the red swimsuit as I am, like what's the big deal, sort of thing. So yeah, I never really showed my boys or my nieces or anything, I never showed them that commercial, because I didn't want them to have that in their mind that you're only, you know, good enough if you've like followed a special diet, and you know. So I've always been conscious of that since, because we've moved on a long way. Things have really changed in that short period of time. It's great that it has, because, you know, it's not, we can't be expected to hide.
No, that is so true. And I hear what you're saying, because prior to, well, actually, it was just before, it was a year before lockdown, I used to run a health and lifestyle fitness camp. And when I first started, I ran it for almost a decade. And when I first started it, we talked about dropping the dress size. And but the whole thing about it was holistic
Yeah.
care, if care is the right word. So it wasn't all about, it started off being about you know, losing a bit of weight to feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
But then it then became very quickly all about how you feel, your confidence, how you show up, and it became more about the lifestyle and the well-being side of things, because once you're happy in that mode, as it were, and you're confident and comfortable with what you're doing in your life and your working life and everything else, then everything else falls into place. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So initially it started off being, you know, dropping the dress size and feeling fitter, but actually it then became more about the community and who we are as people. And, you know, like I say, 2006, it seems like so much has changed since then, you know. And thankfully, you know, our children and our teens are learning that,
Yeah.
am I beach ready? Of course you are. Just go to the beach, you know.
Exactly. Just go.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about Fresh Nesh. How did you write a blog? You write a lovely blog about your vitality and fashion and all of that. So how did the name Fresh Nesh come about? Tell us all about that. And
there's so many journeys to this name, and I've seen that my best friend has joined. I don't know if she's still watching, but if you are, Nicola, wave. Because originally it came up, the name Fresh Nesh came about way back when I was at school, and we had to do a commercial, make our own commercial, and so I made a deodorant, and it was called Fresh Nesh.
That's brilliant.
So that was kind of like, I was like, oh yeah, I like that. Down on my name.
So proud.
And like I did this whole commercial, and it was so funny. And I'm laughing as it was from English. She's there. She remembers.
She's laughing.
And like I brought in my mum's salad spinner because it sounded like a train. And so my friend had to turn the salad spinner so it sounded like I was on a train. And I was like, have you used Fresh Nesh? You know?
So I'm so glad I asked you. That's such great stuff.
So that was originally kind of where it came from. And also, nobody can ever say my name right. my name's Nesh, which is a Turkish name.
Sorry, and I got that wrong.
Yeah, no, but don't apologise, because I've just shortened it to Nesh. All my family call me Nesh anyway. But because of the spelling, it's Nese. There's 2 S's in the Turkish alphabet. So the S with the accent underneath it pronounces the SH. So Nesh. But it was just so everyone would get it wrong. So I'd go fresh Nesh, like Nesh, same as fresh Nesh. And so that was kind of like another way in, that was kind of that as well. But then I started the blog. My sister was diagnosed with bowel cancer 10 years ago, and it was a really tough time. I just had my second son. My sister had her 3rd baby, and it was a really horrendous time. And I needed to, it was like therapy in a way. So I decided I was going to start this blog, and I was going to call it Fresh Nesh, like a fresh start, a fresh Nesh, and then playing on the word of freshness. And it kind of like came into play like that as a blog, really. And then I started Instagram, and it was really about living every day as a fresh start, well-being, looking after ourselves, and I suppose nurturing ourselves and our well-being really became a priority for me. And my sister passed away it was 2 years after diagnosis, so it's been 8.5 years, and she was 31 when she died. So for me, I've had to continue it as a way of not living for her, because I live for myself, but in her memory, and in she's not here, I am. Every day is precious, and if I can share some positivity in dark days, then that's what life's all about. And the feather has just fallen, a white feather right there. I've got goosebumps.
Oh my god, me too. Oh, I'm all about the white feathers, and
it has literally a really big white feather has dropped. So it has been a journey for me to sort of keep her memory alive. She inspired me, and what she went through, all the treatment, what she went through every day. And so it's really, Fresh Nesh is all about living life to the full in a positive way. Well, seeing positivity even in the negative and hard moments, really.
I resonate with that so much. Firstly, can I just say we've had so many love hearts going up the side of the thing, in people resonating with what you're saying, and so thank you for sharing that. I know it's hard. It's
we've all got a story, haven't
we? We've all got a story.
We've all got a story. That's the thing. Nobody's alone in that experience.
And also I know that there can be a lot of positivity bashing about how, oh, for goodness sake, you can't be positive all the time, but actually it's well, for me, it's, and I know sometimes you're very similar with what you talk about on your posts. It's about finding the little tiny win in every day. It's about, last week I did a mission about pocketing the positives, and yes, there are days where you just don't want to get up, or you just I don't want to adult today. Today adulting isn't something I really want to do. But actually, if you can just find one small win in every little day, then you're a little step closer to finding 2 small wins in every single day. And you do that with Bells on, and I love it.
Oh, thank you. I know, there's, and I always feel conscious of the fact that I'm not saying everything's positive all the time, and sometimes
no, but it's not.
Struggle, and it's not. And so sometimes it's okay to sit with that, because you need to feel that, because you can't be up all the time. It's just unsustainable.
And it's not real life, is it?
It's not
real life. But it's
it's
great.
It's finding that window. And I suppose, like, for me, my inspiration often is my mum, because of what she's lost, losing your own child. And I think, how, she gets up every day, she gets on with it. And I think, oh, if you can do it, I can do it. you know, and for my nieces and nephews, you know, my sister's children, yeah, I'm gonna do it for you guys, and we've all got to get on. We all do it together, and we're all, you know, I'll hold your hand on the days you need it, and you hold mine on the days that I need it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how I've got through the last 10 years really. It feels like 10 years sounds like a long time, but it feels like not that long, if that makes sense.
Oh, completely. In fact, this is a bit weird, and I'm sorry for changing tack completely. I was driving with my daughter in the car yesterday, and a track came on, and I said to her, "Oh my God, this was in the charts. In the top 10. This makes me sound really old. In the top 10, the week we got married, and we got married 20 years ago in September." And she went, "It can't have." And I was like, "I know." And she's like, "But we sing that," and I'm like, I know, that's how quickly time just goes, doesn't it? You know, the decades just. And in other ways, it seems like they're taking, you know, it's taking forever. Not forever, but you know, it seems like, time is an odd.
Yeah, it is.
Concept.
It is. I listened to a podcast actually the other day, and it was talking about time and what we expect of time, and it was really interesting to listen to, and it really made me think about how, you know, we expect to say, okay, I'm going to do that in 3 hours, but actually there's no guarantee you've got that 3 hours.
No, absolutely.
It was really interesting. It really got me thinking, because I was like, God, that's really deep, but it really makes sense.
100%. And I talk a lot about my power of an hour. So you know, we all, I've got that task to do, it will happen when. And it's like, come on, let's just set the clock. Even if it's just 15 minutes, what can you achieve in 15 minutes? Even if it's, you know, you don't have the luxury of an hour, but you've got 10 before you know you need to leave. Right, what can you do in that time? Because like you say, tomorrow's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. And you hear so many stories, of which I'm sure we can talk about for forever. But the fatalities of crashes and scan results and all of that is just horrific. But like I say, we just try and do what we can, and acknowledge the little things like the feather that's just fallen on your lap.
I know, how special.
So you're a mum.
Yes.
Of 2. Busy mum of 2. You're a model. You are all about, as we've said, the feel good vibes, motivation, and all the stuff that we love. So, and you've mentioned that you go to your mum for inspiration, and you find a lot of positivity and inspiration from her. So where else do you get your motivation and inspiration from?
Gosh, do you know what? I find inspiration from lots of places. I think there's so much inspiration everywhere if you choose to look for it or choose to see it. I suppose.
Be open to it,
I think I surround myself with friends who inspire me. That I've got a really lovely group of friends who, all the things that they've gone through, and you know, you just think, oh, you're such an inspiration. So surrounding yourself with you know, an amazing group of people that will inspire you to do better, or you know, I think that's important. Your tribe, as it were.
Absolutely. It's so important.
And then I think I get inspiration from you know, reading books, listening to podcasts, just like I love learning, I love listening, I do love reading when I can. It just seems like I can't keep awake to read anymore.
Well, that's what I love. I'm so grateful for things like podcasts and audio, because I see people talking, oh, have you read this book? Have you read this book? And I'm like, it's still long enough to read a book. Hold on. But I'm in the car a lot. So, you know, audiobooks and podcasts are just brilliant for that.
So I'll often just sit, and if I'm driving or whatever, walking or on the train journey, I will always tune into a podcast or an audiobook. So I do. I find lots of inspiration from that. I'll find inspiration in music as well. I sing in a choir. I've joined a choir years ago, and I find the people that I sing with, they're just so inspiring. And actually, when we sing certain songs and you start to analyze the lyrics, that I find inspiring as well. So yeah, so many things, like going to the theatre. There's always something I can find that's inspirational in the outside world as well. So yeah, just being open to lots of things, I think, is really important.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Absolutely. If anyone's got any questions, by the way, I know I've said, my whole Woman on a Mission chat is all about 5 questions, and already I've ad-libbed, so apologies. But if you guys have got any questions, then please let us know. So we love seeing you on Lorraine. It's just great. Look, when you see people come on, and you always look fabulous. So do they tell you what to wear, or how does it all work? Tell us all about the behind the scenes modeling experience, all the gossip from the show is what we want to know.
So basically, we turn up all the outfits. I don't know what I'm going to model. So they'll have a theme that they would have gone and prepared for. We turn up. We do our own hair and makeup.
Really?
Yeah, we've always done our own hair and makeup years ago. We used to have our makeup done. But yeah, that stopped a long time ago. Budgets.
That's not a COVID thing. So it's not as if it's not come back in since COVID. It was before then.
Way before. It was back in when it was GMTV days. So yeah, so GMTV I think was owned by, I think it was like the Disney Channel or something random.
Is it really?
Yeah, and then ITV took it over. So then it changed. Now it's changed names several times, and obviously now it's the Lorraine Show. So yeah, we do our own makeup and hair, and so we'll turn up. We'll have a fitting. We try on all the outfits. Then we'll do like a little rehearsal just to make sure everything's okay with graphics and changing. And then we go live. It's normally about 9:45, and then we're done by 10. Get dressed. Go home. It's like you've done a whole day's work, like before 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
So what do you love about it?
Say it again.
Tell us what you love about it.
Oh, do you know what? Why I have done it for so long. So it was probably one of my first jobs when I started modelling at 21. I'm now 43.
Wow.
So I've been there so long. I always think, oh, they're going to phase me out. Like this is my last one. Like, it's really not usual in this industry to be used for that long. But I think the way that the show works, the audience love that familiarity in the faces, and so we've been part of that team as well for all those years. Like a lot of the models have been there. One of them's been there longer than me, Andy, and then there's all the girls are kind of long-standing models now for the Lorraine models. But we've built up a real friendship over the years, and in this industry you don't often get that opportunity because you work with different people all the time, different places. So for us that was really nice and unusual to go back every week, and we all became very good friends, and we've all gone through so much together. I mean, we always joke about the fact that we'd create a show called Made in Wardrobe, because
should.
all the stories that have been shared, the tears, it's like therapy, like the amount of tears you could mop up, honestly, and fill a bucket.
Well, it's like, I guess it was a bit like with my community with the fitness camp. It's, we had births, we had deaths, we had marriages, we had, people moving overseas, all of the stuff, because you become that part of your life becomes a part of who you are, doesn't it? And your whole kind of history. So oh my gosh, I can imagine.
So really I think
you must get that commission, surely.
So it's like that's what keeps me going back, really, is the friendship groups that I've created. And obviously you get to know all the studio team, the camera guys, the floor managers, the green room host, there's so many people there. But it's the same faces really. The producer, who is a big part of our team. So yeah, it's like a family, and that's what keeps us all going back.
Yeah.
Really. Someone's just asked a question, so I was just having a love seeing. Do you ever say no to the outfits? Never, 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 never.
Really, that's so good. Is that because they just know you and they know your body shape and what works for you? And
yeah, they do.
Or is it just a case of
yeah, you're getting paid to wear the clothes, so yeah, you just don't. Yeah, it's like that's what they do. Do you know what Mark will always say? How do you feel in that?
Yeah.
And if you really hate something, he'll be like,
he'll know.
You don't like it, do you? He can just tell.
Well,
so
that's
he
beauty,
like
isn't it?
have been changed slightly, but often there's no need because they do such a great job.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're modelling, you're getting paid to turn up and wear the clothes. Like you're not getting paid to have an opinion, basically. It's the harsh truth of the modelling industry. You're there to be seen and not heard.
I love that, but also, with working with a brand or a company for such a long time, you've got that know, like, and trust. You trust them. They respect you. They respect what you're doing, and you've both got that kind of, I guess, working, respecting relationship together. So if you're not happy, they'll know.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Completely. And also you kind of in the industry, you've got to think out of the box, because obviously it might not necessarily be my taste, but it might be the taste of somebody else. So
yeah
for the the Lorraine viewers, that look will be their like absolute favorite look. So you're thinking of her as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Fran from Wales just said you always look beautiful. We agree, Fran.
Oh, thank you. I mean, yeah, thank you. I won't bat away the comment. That's not a compliment. That's something I'm working on.
Oh no, don't bat it away. Just someone said to me, what was actually, someone said to me, just smile and say thank you. And I love that. And I love your post from a couple of days ago when you're doing your audition tape with the whole eyes and the looking down.
That is literally what it is like in some castings. You can be asked to do the most random things, and you're like, really?
Yeah. Little game face on.
Oh, completely. And like you've got to really believe in what you're doing. So yeah, that's where your acting comes into play.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what's next for Freshness?
Oh.
Say it. Sorry. What's next?
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
I know, sorry.
Oh gosh, I don't know. You see, I feel like things are going in a really positive way for sort of the content that I'm creating. I'm working with brands and with companies that I really like, and I suppose I just want to continue to share that sort of feel good vibe, that feel good movement where if I can help lift somebody's day in some way, in like such a small way, then that makes me happy. So that's all. I don't plan too much of what what's next, but really it's just if I can just help everybody feel a bit better, even if it just means to make them laugh at my stupidity.
I love it. It's a breath of, it's funny because when when you have these big stories that hit the news, and you've got a war going on, you've got COVID, you've got pandemic, you've got all these hideous things coming on, there's lots of conversation about, should we still be posting, should we still be creating, should we still be having a laugh? And it's like, well, yes, there needs to be, like with the positivity, there needs to be a breath of fresh air about everything. We can't be serious all the time. And I remember seeing a young Ukrainian dance group, and they weren't sure whether they were ever going to be able to dance again, and certainly to dance again together. And an opportunity came up. I think they danced in London. You probably know more about this than I do, but they were dancing in London, and they said that it was their yes, they felt very, very bad for the people back home, but equally they were doing it for the people back home.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, so we need to be, you know, the I guess the little white feathers for the people that can't be.
You know what, life is, you know, doesn't come without tragedy, sadness and darkness. It doesn't. And so we can't, you know, we're just exposed to it more now as well, so we're seeing it more. And years ago we didn't see any of this, so
Yeah.
not that, you know, you carry on oblivious, but I think it's important, you know, everybody does their little bit. Like, we don't all need to shout about what we do to help others.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I think the less we judge, the kind of place we'll be, because everybody has their reasons for whatever they do. And I think sharing some light and happiness shouldn't be frowned upon. And I think, like, back in the days, like with the war, entertainment always carried on because that's what they needed to lift the troops up, right?
Yeah.
So you think about all those moments, you know, during the war, and they'd have their entertainers up there on the stage.
Yeah,
That's
the poster girls.
yeah, exactly that. So I think, yeah, we have to laugh, because laughter is medicine as well, I believe. And if we can find just a little smile just to
Absolutely.
energize our bodies in some way, and just for that split second that we have a split second of light in the dark, then it's worth it. And yeah, we've got to carry on shining the light, really. And my grandparents were very upbeat, happy. My mum's family, they lived in South London, and you know, they lived in a council estate house, and they didn't have much. And you know, my mum is one of 9, so things were tight, and they lived in, you know, they didn't have everything. And they were such a happy family. I'd go over there and everybody was happy, laughing, joking. And I think I always wanted to bottle that feeling up from my childhood. I'd go there and it was just always a happy place. And I think that has really stayed with me. That, you know, no matter how tough things are, there's always something to laugh and joke about. Really.
Yeah, I agree. I was talking to one of my oldest friends yesterday, actually, and we were saying things like, yeah, you know, the guttering might need replacing, and there are bits and pieces that need sorting, but actually, at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. You know, what matters is that you've got good people around you. You've got people around you that will pick you up when you're down, and like you said, you know, you pick them up when they're down. But equally, if they've got your back and they want to raise you up, and you do the same for them, then it doesn't matter what materialistic things you've got around you. It's just having good people around you is what matters more than anything.
Yeah, of course.
You know, the last few years have really taught us that.
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely. I think it's made it clearer than ever that, you know, those core people in your life really stand out. But also equally, I have gained friends through that time.
Yeah.
That I think, you know, I think it's amazing. I've actually connected with some amazing people, and I think, gosh, but that's, you're aligned to one another, so you know, you draw those people to you. So it's yeah, I feel really grateful as well for gaining those new friends as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've always been told that, you know, what's meant for you won't go by you. And you know, and that's the same for friendship as well. I always believe there's a reason that you and I have connected. There's a reason that you have those friendships, whether they've been years and decades old, which we won't talk about. But it's a privilege, right? But equally, you know, that doesn't put any you know, small thought on the friends that you've connected with and become instantly strong with over a matter of weeks. It doesn't matter. It's just you know, how you are and how you respect them too. So, oh my god, I so loved chatting with you. I could talk to you forever.
I can talk about lots of things forever, I swear. Just from my rich self-tape that I did yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh, I talk so much.
So when I was at school, there was this is primary school, so we're going back some. One of my teachers was called Mr. Johnson, and he wouldn't be allowed to do it now, but at the time he used to call me Clara Clark because you were always talking. Stop talking. I don't think I've ever said that publicly before, so there you go.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Clara Clark. Oh, I'll never forget Mr. Johnson. He was really old school, very, very old school. But anyway, will you come back and do a part 2? Because I feel sure that everyone's loved listening to you. We've had some fabulous comments as well. So thank you so much for joining us. It's been wonderful.
Thank you for having me. And yeah, I'd love to do it again.
Thank you. It's been a joy. What have you got up to? Well, what have you got planned for us today?
Yeah, I've got actually some boring emails to attend to. So.
Bringing us right back down.
Yeah, and then getting dinner ready before the boys come home. So yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Well, have a lovely, lovely afternoon. Thank you to everyone that joined us, and we will get Nesh. Nesh, is it Nesh? Can I call you Nesh?
Yeah, no, Nesh is absolutely fine.
Okay. We will get Nesh back on very soon. So thanks so much for joining me. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you soon.
See you later. Take care.
Bye. Oh, wasn't that, I have jaw ache or smile ache as it says, wasn't that amazing? It was so lovely to connect with Nesh. She is, like I said to you at the very beginning, she is a breath of fresh air, and oh, I don't know about you, but I could talk to her forever. So much fun talking about life as a model, life as a busy mum, all about her background, the fun and frolics that she has in fashion on the Lorraine show, and lots of other things as well. So thank you so much for joining us, and do make sure you go over and you follow Nesh, and you'll be able to see all the behind the scenes stuff that she gets up to. And yeah, for sure we'll get her back on very, very soon. But for me, have a great afternoon, and I'll save this so that if you want to watch it back or you missed any of it, then you can watch it again. Okay, take care. Thank you. Bye.